let's take a gander at today's podcast.
Thank you for clicking on the podcast to listen today. Hopefully you'll enjoy what we have.
You know what? Let's not.
Well, I said hopefully.
Hopefully you'll hear it. What happens afterwards?
Well, they can't decide till the end anyway, so just please listen to all of it.
That's true. So today in the podcast, we talk, oh man, just the level of sympathy we've got for Gwyneth Paltrow is palpable.
Now, I read an article after we talked about it that was saying she ate bread every evening along with drinking. So that's a lot of carbs and sugar. So she did have a lot more than maybe we let on in the story. But who didn't have bread every day? I mean, we have bread every day.
Tough confession, Nikki.
Yeah, so it's still hard for us to have the same sympathy when that's how we live our life. Her low is our happy.
Yeah. We also talk about a special Zoom court appearance, a dethatcher, which I have to read about this.
You should. It's real. Gosh, it makes me sound like it's really good for your yard. I'm trying to regrow my grass in certain areas. So like I've been, in the past couple of years more into like, what can we do to make this work?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We've also got job availability, stabbing your brother, McDonald's vaccines, build a boat, wearing headphones, actors and their porn addictions. That's an interesting one. Masks, cars. And where exactly does Nikki buy her Blurays?
This is all. There's a lot of stuff in this. And that goes a little bit.
Do you think I was too honest?
No, I don't think so. And I mean, everybody has things with their dad when you look back to your childhood.
Sure.
That maybe we wouldn't be so excited to remember.
I wonder, now I've never said it to him, but I wonder if I called my dad and I was like, hey,
he probably
Dad.
wouldn't even remember.
He probably doesn't even remember.
For sure.
So that's one of the exciting things is knowing that your parents scar you, and while you carry it long into adulthood, they've so moved on.
Well, I'm not going to say what the movies are, but when you talk about like your dad and when you were younger and stuff, I have 3 movies with my dad that are like the same sort of thing. And it's just funny to look back at, we all have those things, and it's not with your mom. It's always with your dad. And there's usually movies associated with it. So,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So, you guys enjoyed today's podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we really hope you have a wonderful day, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you've ever asked yourself, just how bad can it get? We've got your answer right here. Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Nikki, do you know what a dethatcher is?
For the yard and stuff?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It takes up I think what it is. It takes all the dead grass that might be mixed in your grass.
Yeah.
But not you might not notice it's there, but it basically like getting a haircut for your grass, thinning it out so that then the healthy grass can grow.
Okay. So it's not a lawn mower. It's
I don't
a
know
dethatcher.
Yeah, I don't think it goes on your lawnmower. I have one neighbor who really is into it, and I wouldn't believe in it, except his yard's amazing. So
okay,
it's supposed to be good.
Because here I could get you if you wanted an electric dethatcher. I've got one on sale here. It's like 30% off.
30% off? Wow.
I've never. So, okay.
So it's not like you're looking for it. You just saw an ad for it.
Right. Which I don't understand what Google thinks that from your search history, it seems like you're really into lawn care.
I think we should just push this to him today.
So do you think that is the dethatcher, is that a new thing?
No, it's been around for a while.
Okay. I just, I've never heard of it.
It's just really good if your grass won't grow as well. It might just being strangled by all the
dead grass.
The dead grass that's in it that you just might not realize. So again, it's like a haircut. Thins the dead hair stuff out or the grass, so then the other stuff can grow.
You know what? I need somebody to come and take the dead grass out.
It's also a life lesson.
It's choking me out here, Nikki.
Maybe that's what Google's saying. Deep down, it's way deeper than just your yard.
If we show him this, he'll then begin applying it to his life and the change he needs.
Yeah, they're like, okay, boss, let's send him the ad. Let's see if it works.
It's time.
Yes,
It's
it
time.
is.
Yes.
All right, well, you don't need it, so. I thought maybe you were actually looking at one.
No. I've never heard of it in my life. And my first instinct when I find something I've never heard of is not to Google it. I immediately turn to Nikki.
Just to see if I know.
Well, because a lot of times, often Nikki knows way more things than I do. That's great. She and I represent, I think, sometimes different knowledge pools.
Sure.
And I like to see what's in her pool. And obviously,
I know about this one.
She knew how to dethatch and dethicken. I'm impressed.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than help. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
So many times we have sat in this room and talked to you about the idea of a relationship with God. It's not just about like this one time, like one and done, like you say, oh God, and then you're done. No, it's a day-to-day thing. And as a result, God sometimes talks to me, and I have found that God teaches me how to live. That's actually been the big thing that I've been asking God for is like, all right, would you just show me how to live? Not like in the big moments, but like Wednesday mornings.
The day-to-day.
Just like what's Wednesday morning? What should that look like? And one of the things that God talked to me about today that I'm hesitant to bring up because it feels so cliche. And I almost posted it on social media. And I thought, if somebody else posted that, you would roll your eyes. But gratitude is a choice. Now, I know it can be a feeling like I'm feeling so grateful that whatever. But sometimes it's just something we choose. Like we choose to be grateful, and you just have to do it. It's like, well, I don't feel it. Nah, I get it. But that's just it. And I feel like that's something God was talking to me about this morning was like, hey, you're going to have to decide if you want to be grateful or not. Now, you can not be grateful, and that will be the path of least resistance. It will be very easy to not be grateful. Something I've noticed is I've got a real knack for it.
The not grateful part?
Oh, yes.
The easy path?
I seem to, like, a lack of gratitude is something that I just...
Is that default?
Yeah, in fact, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like gravity. I mean, I don't have to think about gravity pulling me down. It just does its job. That's my lack of gratitude. So here I am talking to God about doing something that is countercultural to my own life and my character and whatever. And so that's something I'm going to choose to do today. Now, why get into all that? Because I want you guys, you should be grateful. You should be texting the Riot to tell them how grateful you are for it. No, what I mean is this, is that each one of us in our life, we've got stuff that we just naturally gravitate towards something that maybe isn't the best. And we don't always see it. We don't always see our blind spots, but God is there and is willing to, if you'll let him in, if you'll let him talk to you, he's willing to show you things like, hey, gratitude's a choice today. Let's be grateful. For you, it might be stuff like, I don't know. Like, I'll leave that between you and God, but why don't you take some time and let God in and talk to him? If you don't know him, you can say, Jesus, I want you to come in. I want you to show me how to live, show me how to do Wednesday, and show me a different way to do things because I want to know. And man, God will.
The Riot isn't all bad, but this is the Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Nikki, do you think it would be fair for us to say that the pandemic has been hard on a lot of people?
Absolutely. I think that would be 100% truthful statement.
Do you think that during the pandemic, we saw people reaching for things to cope with the stress and the pressure and all those sorts of things?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Was there anything for you? Do you feel like you reached for
food delivery?
DoorDash?
Just not, like creating my own meals. Mm-hmm. So I think we wanted to support, a lot of restaurants, but, I didn't want to cook. So,
Nikki, Gwyneth Paltrow feels your pain.
Oh, does she? I don't know if we're on the same... I don't know how to say it. Wavelength for all that stuff.
She did an interview with The Guardian, and as I was looking at it, I thought, yeah, man.
Feel this one, right?
Boy, I'll tell you, Gwyneth, it's tough out there, isn't it? It's hard. Yeah. She had a real low point during quarantine.
Oh, did she?
She did. And she did something that she's pretty ashamed of.
What did she do?
She ate some bread.
Oh, Gwyneth, you don't understand. Oh, some bread.
Wow.
How did she make it?
Wow.
Maybe to her that is a big thing, though.
And
it's probably a big thing for her to admit. I mean, she has an image, and her image is pretty healthy. And I think she's been pretty vocal about not having bread.
When you say that her image is healthy, I'm going to say that it's not.
No, her image is promoting healthier things that she deems fit or she deems to be healthy.
Oh, man. Can you imagine, all right, that your life is at a point where your low point. Keep in mind, I want you, again.
The lowest of the low.
I want you to think about during quarantine and during whatever and during the winter and all that stuff. Like when you were at your lowest point.
Someone else saying what their lowest moment was.
And compare your low moment, which I won't ask you to give it out. You know what it was probably. You tell me, did you reach for bread?
Well, I know, a lot of times in Hollywood, we just can't. I feel like we're on different, not levels, but just experiences and stuff.
Sure,
and,
doing things a little differently.
And that is apparently her low moment. Her low moment is our great moment.
I know.
We'd love some bread.
Her low point, I mean, she must live quite a life because for me, like if, let's say you took me to, I don't know, Texas Roadhouse and the bread comes out with that cinnamon butter. Mm-hmm. This is my high point, guys.
High point of the low. Very high.
And this is Gwyneth's like, I ate bread.
Did she even say how much she ate?
I didn't get a quantity here.
Did she say how much she gained? Like, did she gain any weight? Because then I'll believe her. Because you gain bread weight.
I don't know the answer to that.
I just didn't want it to be like, yes, once I had, some, even like a whole wheat or a healthier bread.
She said that at one point she even had some pasta.
Oh, gosh. If she's not eating packs of Hawaiian bread, then I don't want to hear this because we were.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
Did you know, did you guys know that you can get King's Hawaiian, sandwich buns?
Oh, yeah.
I found those during the pandemic, and they helped me.
Yes, they did. If not, you just take the little one, you cut it and slice it down the middle. I mean, it is a delicious sandwich bread. It is so good. So do you see, Gwyneth, your attitude needs to change with that. You mean you had a good thing during the pandemic? You had bread.
I got to tell you right now, my heart just goes out to Hollywood. What
Must be a hard life.
What a hard thing they face out there,
Well, they can't even enjoy bread.
But you know what? It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you watch that?
The video of it? No, I haven't seen it yet. I don't think there's a lot we can say on air from it.
I'll just say that there's somebody that appears in a courtroom under a virtual name that when I read, first off, I didn't think it was real. Second, when I did see it and there was video and I watched the video, it's not as funny as you want it to be.
Yeah.
But there's also just is
this real? Are we doing this?
Is this happening right now? I do love those moments where, the internet reaches real life. And one of the biggest things I think we do with the internet that we get messed up is we mistake the internet for real life. And we think that the things that we encounter on the internet are ubiquitous. Oh, of course, everyone knows about this and that. And it's no, really? If you're like me, you spend a lot of time online or in whatever, you just assume that. But when you go out and start talking to the normies, they're not the ones that spend a lot of time on the internet, and they don't understand what you're getting at. When you're trying to explain it to them, and they're just you can just tell they're not one of us. And it's one of those moments, this video, where I was like, oh, yeah, see? If you encountered somebody that was like you, that's online, that whatever, it would just be, I'll laugh it off. But then you realize, oh, you don't spend a lot of time on the internet, do you, Your Honor?
Well, for this, a judge in Michigan, he had a Zoom court meeting. And so one of the individuals who was supposed to be a part of the Zoom conference, he says his sister had named like when you log in.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty bad name. And the judge wasn't really interested in seeing that. And so he almost put him in contempt of court. And the guy's like, well, wait. It's my sister who did that, not him. So it's just a video showing their exchange.
And has that ever happened to you? Like, I've been in enough Zoom calls where I have shared like my laptop with somebody and you sign in. And if they change the name tag, you might not even know it. And it just shows up. Yeah,
it's just whatever it was last time. So, yeah. I've had, like my personal Nikki Zoom stuff and then work stuff. And so, it has different names. But not the name this guy chose. So.
No, it's different. But again, that to me is just like if you found somebody that spent a lot of time online, they'd be like, yes, that's inappropriate, but all right, just change it.
The only thing I grabbed this story, though, is that the judge, I swear, I feel like this judge, there's usually these like quick YouTube videos or TikTok or Facebook ones, and it's the judge, and it's like, look at this not creative sentencing, but like this judge is not having it.
Right.
And I feel like I've seen this judge before with something or some other thing. So I was like, wait, have I seen this judge on some video? But at least he's on this one.
I want to watch the video of the judge who's just like, the idea of like he's an old grizzled judge.
Oh, they have tons of those.
And they keep sending him kids with their hijinks.
No, they always have that judge, and the person comes in and like says something under their breath or makes a gesture towards the judge, and the judge is like, bring him back. And so he'll add more time to his thing. He's like, bring him back.
We're not done.
Bring him back in here. And I like those.
Not done.
You're like, go get him. You can't treat people like that.
Not done.
So, all right, that's the guy. And he said that I think it worked itself out, but he was blaming his sister for the poor choice of name for his Zoom court login.
I just, again, want to remind everybody, just remember, you spend a lot of time online, you think everybody's like that. No.
There's no fresh by date because it was spoiled when they made it. Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
If I may offer this word of encouragement, if it feels like the coffee's not working, just drink more.
Just keep adding to it.
Don't worry yourself about it. Maybe, though, you don't want to go to McDonald's. Man, guys.
Don't you feel like they got a COVID payout or something? Like some sort of government money for it?
To pay for the cups?
Not even just to pay for it, but just to like, here's your donation. It just seems a bit shady.
My thought was maybe they get a tax write-off for putting a PSA on their cup.
That's a good call. Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but here's what it comes down to. McDonald's, with their cups of coffee, they are putting out an edition of the cup, their coffee cup, that basically says, hey, we can do this. And we can do this is the slogan for getting vaccinated.
So they say that this will promote the COVID-19 vaccine, and it aligns itself with the White House push to get more people vaccinated. That's why it feels like someone's getting money somehow, because it feels a little too late, to just join in on it. But McDonald's is going to, and it'll be on the coffee cup, and it'll have seal stickers and the "We Can Do This" slogan on the side of the cup. They
say that the White House is essentially making deals with people, trying to get them to get this messaging out to people. Can I just say, okay, I've had the vaccine. It's fine. All right. It was not. Man, I have, like, in the last 3 days, I've encountered people. Like, I was at a thing last night. There's a group of people, you're supposed to go in this place, you're masked, and, they made sure to let us know that they didn't want us to wear masks and they didn't think we should get vaccinated, but it was our personal choice. And I was just like, look, just give us the paper and tell us the thing. I want to leave.
Just give me the coffee cup.
Like, I don't care. Just let me leave. Like, when you do this, like when I go to McDonald's and I pick up that cup, you know how sometimes you see these movies about future dystopias where like they eat the people and like whatever? That's what it feels like, where I'm just like, Why am I holding government propaganda in my hands with my coffee? Why is this happening?
They're saying that they're doing more of the what's called public-private partnerships, and that includes the White House working with Lyft, Uber, the free beer to get vaccinated. They're working with different companies, like they're doing all that. And McDonald's, the McCafe cups won't even start until July.
Okay, and one more time, let me say, I got vaccinated as a personal choice, but when I see a government slogan that tells me to go get vaccinated, I'm like, get it out of my arm.
You can have it back.
Get it out.
Get it out.
Maybe it's that oppositional defiance stuff,
No,
but
it's just because I feel like they paid a lot to make that happen, and that money's coming from somewhere.
Well, the good news is I don't normally get McDonald's coffee, but I'll tell you right now, if they hand my 10-piece McNugget out the window
in a box,
and there's a "we can do this" on my McNugget box.
It's not supposed to. It's really just supposed to be the McCafe coffee cups. It's going to be about 50 million of them starting in July. And I think they're also going to have on the McDonald's website or some sort of website address that directs people to find appointments and safety information.
Man, I should have held out, gotten a vaccine later. So it was like, hey, guess what? We're now giving $1 million to anybody who'll take the vaccine.
If you keep holding out, you should get something else.
I really should have pushed it.
Even though you're not getting free coffee, it's just the coffee cup is designed.
You should. They pass those savings on to me.
They didn't pay enough for that promotion.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. Riot Podcast Radio U.
You know what? Video games are important to me. They're actually not that important. That's what's funny is I love talking about them, but at the end of the day, I'm good.
But you do enjoy playing them.
Yeah, I play a little bit. But what I'm saying is when I say that they're important to me, I don't mean that I bought all the consoles plus a video game and I have to buy every single game that comes out.
Sure.
Wait, I do that.
I mean, you did buy all the consoles. Wait a minute.
You know what? I might be having a moment right now, guys.
I think you just discovered something. I'm like, I think it is more than the average person, but maybe not as much as you guys think. It's just right in between those two.
Kumamoto City, Kumamoto Prefecture in Japan. There are two brothers that live together. Now, my first thought is, if you tell me that an older brother gets mad at a younger brother playing video games, the image I have is older brother is 20, younger brother is 16. He's still in high school.
They're not wanting to share the stuff.
Well, older brother's in bed because he's got to go to work, but younger brother doesn't have to do that, so he's staying up late. And
I see you got the years wrong.
Yes.
For the people.
Well, it's very important that I tell you that those are not the ages. The older brother is 48. And the younger brother is 35.
So they arrested the 48-year-old on suspicion of attempted murder because he stabbed his 35-year-old brother in the chest for playing video games too loudly. Wow.
And I mean, come on, it was a Saturday night.
11:30, that's not too late, but they live in the same house, and they say that the wound for the 35-year-old was not life-threatening, thankfully.
Okay, listen, that's one of those things I want to throw out. When you read the news and they're like, the wound was not life-threatening.
That does not mean.
Or if you'll read something like non-life-threatening injuries after a car accident, man, you could have all kinds of broken bones. You could be in the hospital for weeks, and they're like, well, it's not life-threatening, so you're fine.
So the 48-year-old has partially denied the charge, saying that he didn't intend to kill his brother, but he was mad because of his brother's loud voice while playing video games. So maybe it's not even the game noise itself, but if he was playing online.
He was yelling, probably.
Yeah, he was probably doing something, and that was it.
I've gotten memos about that. Where, there was a time, I don't do this anymore, but there was a time when I would play video games and yell and scream. Mm-hmm. And after I received, let's just say I had some meetings and with some roommates, and they were just like, lower the voice. Stop. And I was like, I don't even understand.
Well, this article doesn't cover, like, are they all still at home with the parents, or do they
Don't you feel like they are?
I don't know. I mean, 48 and 35.
Or are these Japanese guys the statistics where we always read about how in Japan nobody's dating, nobody's...
No. If you look it up, there's a term for around this age group of people who basically still live at home or have taken over their home of their parents, but they haven't really done anything else.
Yeah. I have friends like that. But in Japan, they say it's like a whole... It's
a whole culture, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron texted, I get it. I pushed my brother down the stairs once. I don't even remember why. Aaron, you might want to remember those details or see or what.
I don't remember why, but I'm sure he had it coming.
I'm sure it was his fault. And I mean, are we talking, were you really
sure he
young?
made me do it because he's so stupid.
You know, sometimes sibling relationships can be difficult when you're young. So I see it's not just these brothers in Japan who had difficult times.
Man, I had a friend that he and his older sister, she was like 2 years older than we were. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the level of physical violence that would come out of... Oh, yeah. And I was just like, I can't tell you how many times I tore him apart and was like legitimately a little scared. I'm like, bro, you could break her in half. You need to stop. But the thing was, she was vicious.
She was mean back and fighting back.
Oh, he's the one that would come away from those events with scars.
Well, here's an update from Aaron. He says, we're good now, both alive and well, but it used to be rough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're pushing people down the stairs, Aaron, or in this particular case, stabbing them in the chest.
Oh, just maybe don't stay in the same place if you're not able to get along yet.
You're probably a little more than one sumimasen away from that relationship being reestablished.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Who wants to go to work? Anybody? Anybody excited? Do you want to... And I don't mean like go to the job you have now. Who wants a new job?
What are we going to do?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know, but I can tell you that according to the latest numbers, there are 8 million jobs available.
There's a lot. I feel bad for places where they are really trying their best to bring some incentives and a good salary to get people in. But, it's pretty well known that you're able to... You're able to, up to a certain point, live on a lot of the monthly benefits that are being offered right now, though they're saying that will be harder to get and will end soon.
So here's what they're saying, that this is if I'm reading this right, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics here in the United States, this is a record high number of job vacancies in the United States.
Yeah.
They're saying 8.1 million job openings. And this is weird, but I'm sure there's a thing like they're non-farm job openings.
Oh, is there normally a lot for farming or something? I've never heard of that.
Maybe that's because it's seasonal or like I don't know what that is, but that's exactly what it says.
They had to put that qualifier on there.
I guess so.
Well, what you should do is when you go around today doing everything, if you look at every place that you go to,
they're probably
hiring. And there's a sign out there saying it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can see available jobs kind of bottoming out in, basically the middle of last year. And now not only have they hit pre-pandemic levels, but like it's even higher than that. Mm. So there are jobs. That's the other thing, though. Like maybe it's a job you don't want, I guess. But like there's jobs out there if you want one.
If you would like one.
But again.
Or maybe later,
is
no
it
pressure.
One that you like?
Well, one doesn't always like what one starts off with. You just keep moving on from there.
What was that? You know what? I'm sweeping floors. One day I'll be on fries.
Is that from a movie or which one was it?
Yeah. You know what? It's just interesting to see. Like there's openings out there. Oh, you know what I don't like? There's this news article about there being these jobs open, and I scroll down right below the Department or Bureau of Labor Statistics, like their graphic.
Yeah. Right
beneath that, there's a job openings at Taco Bell sign.
Oh, really?
And when I see that, I understand why you might not be interested.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The Worst of the Riot podcast. Yeah. You Did This to Yourself podcast. Riot Radio U.
This is a very specific craving. Do you ever get that where you're like, there's just that one thing you're like, I want that?
Oh, yeah. Especially if you see an ad for it or something and you can't have it right now.
Do you remember those chips we had before the fundraiser that were like...
Oh, the waffle ones. They looked like waffle, like a waffle fry, but dehydrated and shrunken down into a potato chip. It's that company that has like a New England feel to their advertising.
Sure.
I wonder what that is.
I don't know.
Like they also do like
Hanfordshire Bay.
Something. Yeah. Like it's not it's not Hanover because that's like the Pennsylvania style sort of thing, but this is more New England. Like maybe there's a lighthouse. Maybe we have another bag under the sink and we don't even know.
I looked. That's what I went in there looking for. I had this weird, sudden, like, oh, I want some more of those. So I went looking for them.
And there's no luck?
I found some Nutty Buddies.
Yeah.
I found some oatmeal cream pies.
Hey, still finding stuff at least.
A lot of coffee, a lot of plasticware.
Yeah.
Well,
we're
a
coming
knife,
off
a fork
the fundraiser,
or something.
so.
And some napkins. But I'll tell you, none of those.
Let's see. Waffle, potato fries, chips. Oh, no, I can see it in my head. Like
I know.
Yeah, Cape Cod. That's
what Brad says.
I found them. They're the Cape Cod waffle fries.
Cape Cod waffle fries.
You can totally see them right there. They're $3.19 at Target. It's the waffle cut sea salt fries.
There they are. You're right. And you know what, Nikki? There is a lighthouse on there.
Yes!
You did it.
You know when you're really happy, your memory's like right there and it's remembering these things.
They got Target and Walmart.
And Amazon has a pack of one for $9.75. Why does that feel like a lot?
Because Amazon does that, where it's not Amazon, it's somebody selling it on Amazon.
It's someone selling them on Amazon. It's the Cape Cod kettle-cooked potato chips, waffle cut sea salt fries.
That's not too much to ask for, is it?
Oh, look at that. At least we found what they were. Those were good.
That sounds delicious.
That's good. Well, thank you, Bradley, for the Cape Cod name. That definitely did the trick.
I'm always glad to know that we can always crowdsource our snack questions.
Someone knows.
And you guys have got it.
Your guys get it. And Kevin, you get props too for also knowing Cape Cod.
Yeah, and you know what? We appreciate all you guys and your snack food insight.
Now, did you also check the shelving in the back? Sometimes in the back corner they put like juice and potato chips back there.
Juice and fries. You just go back there. There's a fryer. Sometimes there's just some fries out.
Oh, but juice and potato chips and snacks like that don't expire anytime soon. Sometimes they go back there.
I'll tell you what. I'm willing to go look.
Go look. We also have some bagels left. The New York ones that we really like. And I think we have some butter in there.
That's like that.
That just means you want bread.
That's a lot of
Your
work.
carb craving.
Yeah, I am. And you really, when you're craving like that, you want a complex carb, like maybe a sweet potato or something like that. That's how you really should be meeting those needs.
No, what you're really wanting is a Cape Cod potato chip, waffle cut, sea salt, kettle cooked chip fry. So
no big deal.
That's what you really want.
No big deal.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on Radio U.
Okay, everybody. I went in the back and I went looking for some of these
potato chips. Yeah.
No potato chips.
Oh, nothing? Okay.
I found some Life water.
What's that?
I don't know.
Is it like electrolyte water?
I don't know.
Okay.
But there was like 2 cases of it.
Well, all right. We'll bring those out. We can electrolyte.
Do you want some?
Maybe if it was cold enough. Maybe some's in the fridge.
That's right.
I only really like cold water. If not, it's
not
junk
that.
and it's trash and I hate it. Even though it's the source of life, but I hate it.
Fine.
It's fine. I also just like soda super cold too. So I think it's just all beverages.
Yeah, you know what? It's nothing against the Life water. It's just that it's hot garbage. The other thing I found was a lifetime supply of paper towels.
Oh, we have some back there? All right.
Okay. There are cases.
Cases of them? Well, I think we buy from Amazon and they only come in cases.
That doesn't explain it still.
Well, maybe that's a post-pandemic thing.
Are we using approximately 3 rolls of paper towels a day?
Some people, and sometimes yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just telling you that if you go back there, I feel like maybe we're on a subscribe and save and we forget to cancel.
Yeah, actually, that is probably true. Because I think for a while there, we were also getting a lot of toilet paper. So we have plenty of paper towels.
I was just like, what? I opened one of the boxes because I was just like, what is this?
Yeah, what is all that?
Stacks of boxes. So I opened it. I was like, oh, also, you know how we have those thimbles of coffee?
The coffee cups?
Yeah. No, thimbles.
They're small coffee cups with the lid, petite, just very cute, very small.
Yes. Like,
Are there more back
if
there?
you bring your American Girl doll to work, we have an American Girl size coffee cup that she can drink out of.
It's not that small. I mean, it's close. It's not that small.
You're
Think
right.
More like
it's an American Girl venti cup.
Okay,
but
never
still.
mind. It's the Trenta for
But
her.
still.
Well, is there anything else back there? Do we have more
There's plenty
cups?
of like real coffee cups back there.
Ooh, didn't know. Real size ones?
Yeah. I don't know where we got those other ones. But
Just use them up and we'll just be quiet about it.
I'll tell you what. I'll just tell you right now. Like if anybody wants to, like in the, coming terrible times of blah, 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 whatever, you and I are going to be fine because we are going to be able to barter with paper towels.
We'll be good.
To get whatever we need.
Oh, you shouldn't have told the listeners that because if we ever have a shortage, they're coming here. They're going to break in.
You know how many people I've killed for these paper towels?
I don't want to die for the paper towels. Well, thanks also to Jason. This all had been sparked because we had before our fundraiser a bag of these waffle cut Cape Cod potato chips. And Obi really had a craving for those to see if we had more.
We don't.
And Jason said that Aldi's has their version. So if you Google lattice cut kettle chips, that's exactly them too. So if you go to Aldi, you can pick them up.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Aldi has some great chips. It's real. Like they're...
and I don't want to pay for the Cape Cod name. That's location, and I don't need to pay extra. So maybe these are cheaper.
Licensing on that stupid lighthouse.
For the lighthouse. Nope. I don't need to pay for the packaging. Just get me what I really want. So those would be an option too.
That's legit.
So if you look those up, it's lattice cut.
Okay. All right. Well, boy, I'm hungry, but it's fine.
Well, we still have other snack cakes. Just go get something like that.
I probably should. Right?
Well, you don't want to get your blood sugar too low. You want to keep that up.
That's a real concern.
People win awards for being the best at things. Are there awards for the worst? Because we have a contender. Worst of the Riot Podcast.
We're feeling confident. We're feeling like sailors.
You're feeling like when you take that one allergy medicine and you feel like, hey, we can build our own boat.
We can do it.
We can absolutely do it. But these guys went to Home Depot and they tried to. So they went that next step.
They did. I love this. They tweeted out a photo of the materials that they purchased. And so they built a boat that is not as good as you think.
Which way do you think it goes?
That's what I can't figure out. Does it go?
Which way is up? Because I feel like in the picture, that's not it. They took kiddie pools, like the blue plastic ones. And then there's a big sheet of wood. And then on the other side is the Home Depot paint buckets, the big orange ones.
Right.
And they're all taped around. It looks like a beer pong game.
That's exactly
really
what
weird.
It looks like, actually.
And they use that at the boat, but I can't tell if they sat on the bucket side or was that floating in the water.
Don't you think? I feel like they had to have sat in the kiddie
pool
pools,
side.
right?
Yeah, but they don't make it seem like that in the pictures.
So what they have is they've got, what is that? Like, let's say 20 Home Depot buckets that are like glued or something to the bottom of this piece of plywood.
I see tape too, yeah but there's some sort of glue at the bottom.
And I imagine they're not sealed yet, but I think they sealed them. So the idea is like, oh yeah, these will be buoyant. And so then they sat on them and you can see their, what I believe may be their paddle and so, okay. If you did this and you took it out on a lake, I think that would be hilarious.
They didn't take it in the lake though.
That's what gets me. They took it in the ocean.
So Santa Barbara County, the fire department had to, I believe, go rescue the two guys. It was only two guys. I thought when I looked at the paint buckets, like, there's a lot of people on the boat.
How many people are there?
Like, do you each get a bucket to sit in or what? And they said they were unharmed, but it was like 2:30 in the morning. They were not able to return to shore on their bucket boat. And they say alcohol was not a factor. They make it a point to say that, but obviously the water and stuff, it got away from the guys and they couldn't get back.
Yeah. Well, boy, this is a great quote. We don't know why they chose to put out at night instead of 10 a.m. on a bright sunny day.
Well, we all make mistakes and it's usually at night. Daytime you makes better choices than nighttime you.
Let me give you another quote. They're not engineering students. It did take a lot of resources that put them at unnecessary risk going out in the dark looking for these guys and digging their jet skis around areas that are rocky trying to find them. So they're a little frustrated that they
at their choices. They say they did not have wetsuits. It's very cold, the water there. They had just at least one paddle. They're not sure if they had others, but that was it.
We were stopped by police who asked us questions about the boat, but upon learning we had done the math and planning, they told us good luck and left.
They say that they're probably students at the University of California. So they were in the Santa Barbara school probably, but it's still anonymous as to their names. But I'm sure that'll get out there.
I'll tell you what. This is one of those things that 20 years from now is going to be hilarious.
I know. You're like, look at the boat we made.
It's like, yeah, and here they are rescuing us. And but right now, we're laughing, but I'll just say that the police aren't, and they probably aren't either.
Oh, I bet they were frustrated because that's a hard time to save somebody. Yeah. It is dark, and it's hard to rescue someone who made this. So I bet everybody was a bit frustrated.
The Riot Radio U.
So when I go running, which I don't think I've done in like a whole year.
But you can still say, I mean, you used to love running.
Do you know what? It sounds like I couldn't tell if you said used to or still do.
Well, you would like it when you were running, but you just haven't run in a while. Yes, so I don't know if you want to still categorize yourself as that. But you always enjoyed it.
It's a rebuilding year, Nikki.
That's it.
It's a rebuilding year. And so I almost always wear headphones when I run. Now, the headphones that I have got or that audio transparency thing where you get outside noise inside the headphones.
Which you're supposed to, because you shouldn't close all the noise off when you're running outside, just for safety.
Now, these stats that I have here for you are not about running, but about biking. Mm-hmm. And this is crazy to me. So they have been doing experiments, and this would be the Ford Motor Company. They want to get an idea of working through road hazards for cars.
Yeah.
And what they have discovered is that people who are driving or cycling, so driving your car or riding a bicycle, if you're wearing headphones while doing so, you are 4 seconds slower to identify road hazards.
Oh, really?
4 seconds.
Yeah, because I do see some people who are wearing, like if your stereo's not working or something, you wear headphones in the car. So that's a case with that, too.
I've done it before. Not proud of it, but gotta be honest.
And they do say you're not supposed to, but what are you going to do?
So what they're saying is that you need to stop.
Yeah, aw.
You need to stop.
But when you're biking or outside, like walking or running, you really want that.
Well, I guess maybe if you're biking, you could get a like a Bluetooth speaker or something.
Yeah, that's a good
something
idea.
You can put on your bike or
because nothing's weirder like when you hear a motorcycle like, and they have their stereo on. You're like, what is that? I didn't know you could do that.
I mean, I'm with you. It does sound kind of weird, but the other side of it is
you don't want to be 4 seconds slow on if something's going to be a possible accident for you.
Yeah. So it's pretty fascinating. Like the way they did this study and what they were able to measure out and stuff. I think the hardest thing for us to realize when we're driving a car, at least for me, is that, okay, so let's say it takes you 4 seconds to notice a distraction or a problem or whatever. You're like 4 seconds. Who cares? 4 seconds at 65 miles an hour.
You won't stop. You won't be able to.
Like the amount, like the distance that you have covered in 4 seconds at that speed would shock you how far that you've gone. And so that's where it really becomes a problem. It's not the 4 seconds. It's how fast and far you travel inside those 4 seconds that, 1 or 2 seconds can be the difference between an accident and not.
If you do wear headphones, just make sure you get as much of the outside noise in. And you're like, well, what's the bother then? You'll have to decide that. But if you want to at least be safer, you at least need to hear as much from the outside as possible and not be so distracting.
Bluetooth speakers, man. So,
that could be totally the way to go.
they're not, you know what? I may have given one as a gift recently, and they're not cheap, but they're not that expensive. But same with headphones, right?
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, do you know who Andra Day is?
Andra Day?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
She is in a film that is coming up about the life of... Oh, no. She... that's already out. The Life of Billie Holiday. It was called The United States versus Billie Holiday. It's weird to think that a movie came out this year and I didn't see it, but
it seems to be most movies.
You understand.
There wasn't a lot of main movies that were talked about a lot, but I feel even worse for more of the independent films.
Yeah.
Because those were talked about even less.
So one of the things, she's been doing some interviews and she's talking about her addiction to sex and pornography. And then I saw that Terry Crews,
he was
another
back
person
in the news.
Yeah, he has also talked very openly about his addiction to porn and basically how he and his wife got through it. And he and his wife are releasing a book that is basically about what they went through.
And he is from Brooklyn
Nine-Nine.
And then I think he was also on these commercials too. Like you would know him if you saw him.
Like you would, even if you're like, I don't know who that is. If you saw him, you would know
him. Absolutely.
I just thought it was interesting to see two celebrities out there talking about it, in the same day, kind of in the same news cycle. I know that some people raise their eyebrows at it, but I will tell you, like, our culture has gotten so hypersexualized. Like everything is that way, that I think it's worth take some time. Andra Day, Terry Crews, take a look at what they're talking about it when it comes to pornography. And then he teamed up with a website. What was it called? Is it The New Drug? Let me see. FightTheNewDrug.com. If you take some time and look at it, and what you can find there is it is an interesting discussion about pornography. And a lot of people would even argue like, this is just some, religious nonsense trying to stop human sexuality. No, there's a lot of research out there that it's not great. And FightTheNewDrug.org has got a lot of info about it, about how pornography affects your mind, how it affects your mental health, how
your relationships,
like all of that kind of stuff. And I know that you're, again, some people are like, what's the big deal? I don't know. Do you think that two high-profile actors would get out and talk about it if it wasn't kind of a big deal?
Well, I think it's worth also looking into because so much of what we absorb from our entertainment choices, from like books to shows to movies, the line's been moved many times over.
Absolutely.
To where what you might realize, like that might have been considered more harmful back in the day, but now it's the normal, but the normal could still be harmful for you and your relationships. So it's worth looking in just to make sure that you're not absorbing it and it's not really affecting you.
Yeah, Nikki, I think you bring up an excellent point is, thinking in terms of who in your life actually draws the line for you. Does Netflix tell you what pornography is? Do you decide that for yourself? And those are all things that are worth, I know, again, you don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but it's worth taking a look at it because it does have an effect on you. And some of the effects can be subtle. Like it might be the kind of stuff that maybe you don't really think about, but it can have an effect down the line.
Well, we mentioned too before, especially with different perhaps drug use and stuff.
Sure.
Like it could be subtle at first, then you can fall in the hole really fast.
Yeah,
and you don't even want to sometimes get near the hole.
Yeah, and no, like you're better.
Don't want to go near it.
It is easier to not do something than it is to stop.
To get out of it.
That's real.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
So, I heard a discussion about it yesterday. Masks. Should we still be wearing masks? Don't wear masks. All right. Everybody argue. I don't care. Whatever.
Dude, stop going out to places where people are. Then you won't hear these arguments.
I know, right?
Just stay back at home.
So, we've got, I love this article that's about how masks are here to stay. Now, before everybody gets mad, before there's a big whatever, they're basically just saying that after a year of wearing masks in public, there are going to be people that prefer it and will do it.
Well, there's been other countries that have done this forever, and I've never been as healthy as I've been since wearing a mask throughout the entire winter and last year. So I think
me too.
Well, no, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Nikki.
But a lot of people haven't gotten the normal like winter cold or this or that or the flu. So there is something to at some point or some place to either have a mask or just not be so close to everybody to pass all the other stuff we would always get.
I don't know. But I know that one of the reasons, now we've been talking, you and I here, about the health implications. But one of the things this article talks about are the social implications. And that is people like not having to interact with other people.
We're gotten used to that.
Like where, a mask basically is one more layer of, they say, privacy. So they don't have to interact with people because a mask... let me see. What's this one person who's like, it's such a relief to feel anonymous. It's like having a force field and people don't see me, which is not true because people do.
They still see you.
But they say that I have customers get mad when I don't smile at them. When I wear a mask, I don't have to smile.
Oh, sure. Like if you're at work.
That's a little rough.
Yeah.
But I get it.
That might be not the best over time. Having that, because that changes how we interact with each other.
Yeah. So somebody else is like, yes, now at work, I don't have to worry about keeping a neutral face.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Well, just everybody's been mentioning that it'll probably morph into, if you want to wear one, that's one thing. And if you don't want to, or at least places and businesses might stop requiring it. But if you want to, you can wear it. That's your decision.
Yeah, it's up to you. But I don't know where we go from here, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll bet there's some truth to this mask thing. I'll bet you that just like so many countries in Asia, we may not wear masks. Like I'm just waiting for you to tell me I don't have to.
When you go into places?
Well, because, man, come on. I've had COVID. I've had the vaccine. I'm done.
But you're still not. I know, but that's not exactly. I know you're done. All right.
I'm done. I didn't say we're done.
It's not we're done.
I didn't say we should be done. I'm not making a policy statement. I'm just saying I'm done.
You are well ready and able to stop wearing it whenever the go is given. I
got nothing else to do. Like, what? I've done all the stuff.
So you're just waiting for places to stop telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, if you want me to wear a mask to come into your place, I'll wear it. I get it. Like, it's right now it's a mandate, whatever. Fine. I'll wear it. But as soon as it's not a mandate,
it's gone.
Like, don't you want to be healthy? It's fine.
He's okay.
I wasn't healthy before. Why start now?
Well, you just want to go back to that, Obi. Just having your normal other stuff wrong.
No, I need to be able to make faces at people.
Aww.
The Riot has now been downloaded. Hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, did we get into the article yesterday about what they're starting to do with cars that are being manufactured?
No, we did not.
We didn't get to it. Okay.
No.
So one of the big issues that they're facing right now is it's the reason you can't get a lot of your video game stuff or a lot of personal electronics is this shortage of microchips and the kind of raw materials.
There's cars literally sitting that are just waiting for this part. And it's why if you want to go get a car, you're not going to get a good deal. There's a shortage of inventory and there's just not a lot.
This is a fascinating thing here from Motorious. They are a car website. This is actually, they're quoting Bloomberg. Bloomberg said that in the year 2000, 18% of a car's cost was from onboard electronics. Mm-hmm. So that was in 2000. The idea is that they say in 2020, it's 40%.
Because so much more of our cars will have electronic features.
And or like computer, oriented in some way or controlled. And so they are saying that some car manufacturers are starting to, they are looking at plans to go the other way. So basically the idea is because they are not able to manufacture cars because there are not an electronic parts.
I see.
They are looking to manufacture some cars that are going to go, and I quote, analog.
So basically keep your aux cord.
Well, that's
meaning you won't be able to have all the fancy features in your car.
That's the thing I thought about. And this article details some of what you're talking about. The idea of that marketing for cars these days is not about, it used to be about the engine or it used to even be about fuel efficiency. But now it's all about how your car is almost like an extension of your phone.
Yeah.
How it's like, it's the onboard
And then the screen
this
size,
and that,
like if you
and
get
how
all
big's
that.
like all of those things.
Yeah.
And they're saying, all right, well, what if we manufacture cars with dials and gauges and it had a radio in it?
Well, good for RadioU.
Yeah.
Good for us, but
That's fair.
I like some of the bells and whistles. Not like, you were saying engine and all that stuff, but I like the electronic, like the fun bells and whistles that make a car a more fun experience.
Yeah.
But they're just saying they won't be able to make it, and then you probably won't be able to afford it if they did make it for some.
What, you mean if they made the analog cars? You think it's going to be more expensive?
You can't afford if they keep making...
Oh, the electronics.
The electronics and stuff and make that the fancy part of cars. That'll just be priced out of what us everyday car buyers can afford. And you'll just get the basic stuff.
Man, I think it might be kind of cool. Like, let's even get back. I drive a CRV and I like it. I like how big it is. I like how comfortable it is. But man, what if my CRV, I kind of still like to have that Bluetooth in there. I like that.
But everything else can go?
What if it was a manual and I had to shift? That would be so much fun.
Oh, no, it wouldn't. You'd get so tired of that.
You think so?
Oh, you would. It's fun for a brief moment, remember? But
like everything.
Creatures of comfort. And that's a comfort we wouldn't want to know and learn any other way.
Yeah, that probably lives in the same space that my motorcycle discussion does.
I just think it means that the car that we hoped in 10 years would park itself and like go in this way and do that and drive itself, we just won't.
Man, it kind of sucks out there, guys. Because, like, you know what? Like,
don't you feel like the good, fun days of like, we are all over?
It kind of feels like
now you're like, I can't find it. I can't buy it.
I kind of feel like we're on this verge of being like, oh, yeah, remember when we used to have phones? Mm-hmm. Not anymore.
Doesn't feel like things are going in the fun direction.
I mean, that's not where we are right now, but it's like, oh, yeah, I hung on to this phone for 5 years, not because I wanted to, but because it's all I could afford or it's all I could find.
And I wanted to keep the features.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, where do you pre-order your 4K Blu-rays from?
I don't buy 4K Blu-rays. So I don't pre-order.
Wait, let's see.
I don't order at all.
I don't buy.com?
I don't buy. I very rarely, usually I wait for something to stream or I'll just buy it digitally. But I haven't bought a disc in probably, I feel like 4 or 5 years. It's been a long time.
Okay.
I was just too lazy.
Fine. I just, I was thinking about maybe, doing a couple of pre-orders. Here's what it really comes down to is I have X amount of dollars that I have set aside for either buying. We talked yesterday about buying Mass Effect or buying this or that. And I'm trying to decide like, hey, but the other thing I want to do is when you buy them from Amazon, they don't take money out of your account until
the game or the 4K.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever you're buying, they don't charge you until they ship it.
Sure.
I actually think that's great.
Because then you can cancel.
Right. You can still cancel. But I'm just like, well, no, I've got like X amount of dollars. I'm going to spend it because if I leave it in my checking account, there's a chance I'll be like,
But why do you have to spend it at all? Why do you just not have to? If there's nothing you really want to buy, why don't you just wait?
Nikki, there are 2 things I want to buy. Mm-hmm. Smokey and the Bandit 4K, a restoration of that. It's been
Stop telling us.
Stop
telling us the movies.
Yeah.
You could have just left it at 4K stuff like you had to.
Well, you said.
I know. And I now know I'm not going to anymore.
Okay. And then now
curious. What's the other one?
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, that could be good. Could be good.
I guarantee you that movie was so far ahead of its time.
And then you rewatched it not too long ago, right? And you said it held up?
I did. That's actually getting re-released in theaters with this restoration and Dolby Atmos mix and all that stuff. I think it's only coming to Dolby theaters. So you have to go out of your way to see it that way. But I could see myself doing that.
Okay.
That movie is crazy.
Well, so you're going to pre-order or just wait? Or not get it at all?
I don't know. We'll see. But I thought maybe you had an inside tip or something.
No, I don't watch a lot of movies. I just don't. I don't know if it's I don't want to go through the whole thing. And if I do, I skip a lot of it. So
that's the part. It took me forever to get that about you. How you would tell me, like, I watched this and this. And you just skip around.
I'd rather watch 5 or 6 smaller things. I feel like I get more off my queue and like list that way compared to sitting down and watching a movie.
See, that's why I don't I'll watch a movie a week because I feel like this is so dumb, but I don't even feel like I have to go downstairs, get everything tweaked and dialed in just correctly and watch it in its entirety. I feel like if I stop in the middle, there was no point.
See, you'd hate to watch movies with me. It's on my phone, half paying attention, doing other things, and I'm skipping a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because I just know the end will wrap it all up for me.
Well, Nikki, the thing is, if I'm going to sit down and watch Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason, and Sally Fields.
Why are you watching that?
I don't know why.
Why do you want that? You want that to be your whole experience.
It's weird, but sometimes I just connect with a movie, and there's something about that movie to me.
That feels like that's because your dad watched it, and that's why you want to see it.
Maybe.
Yeah, it must be.
Actually,
I'm sure that goes deep down for something.
You know what? It's sad. That was this is so sad. Here, let me share a sad. My dad and I watched one of those, and the one guy calls his son Moose Twit.
Yeah.
And anytime I would do something dumb or that my dad didn't like, and at one point when I was a kid, I used to call my dad Daddy all the time.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to stop. So every time I called him Daddy, he would call me Moose Twit.
Well, now we have unpacked something.
That came out in therapy, by the way.
I don't know if you want to buy this movie.
No, I do.
You still do?
I don't think that was until the second one, which I won't watch.
Okay, so it's not such a bad thing. All right. Again, just don't. Sometimes we don't want to unpack everything.
Well, I'm glad we had this time.
Yeah, all right. Well, if you get those, let us know. I'm sure we'll see something about it.
Yeah. That was the same time my dad was like, no, you can't hold my hand, and no, you can't call me Daddy. And if you try, I'll call you Moose Twit.
Stop it.
What?
I just can't. We can't. We don't want to. We can't. We can't process all that.
Well, don't you guys want to know why I am the way I am?
This is what makes him Obi.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
F it. This time, get drunk, see our show, touch rats, get drunk some more.